Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a real classic from the point horror shelf, R.L. Stine's 1993 thriller, Nightmare.
Oh yeah, point horror. That really was the gateway for so many of us into,
Yeah,
YA horror, that mix of high school stuff and genuine chills.
totally. And our mission really is to dig into the unsettling psychological side of Nightmare, how it plays with that line between dreams and reality.
It's a fascinating space to explore, especially in YA fiction from that era.
Okay, let's unpack this. So, the core idea.
Yeah.
We've got Danielle Warner, right? A teenager. She comes back from summer camp and starts having these just terrifying
But
nightmares.
they're not just nightmares, that's the hook.
Exactly. The things happening in her dreams, they start mirroring like exactly what's happening when she's awake. Weird, unsettling incidents.
And you watch her go from thinking, okay, bad dream, to seriously questioning her own sanity. Is that blurring line you mentioned?
Yeah, and the paranoia ramps up. Even her friends, she starts wondering if she can trust them or if they're part of whatever is going on. It's quite a spiral.
You really feel that disorientation alongside her. And what's so interesting, I think, is how Stein builds this creepy atmosphere. It's not about blood and guts.
No, not at all.
It's all suspense. It's
Hmm.
mystery. It's this dreamlike terror that just seeps into everything. Very atmospheric.
He's great at that eerie feeling.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
playing with your perception,
Mm. Yeah.
making you, the reader, constantly guess, is this real? Is this part of the nightmare?
Mm-hmm.
And that digs into some pretty deep themes, even for YA, like fear, obviously, but also mental health, trust, or the lack of it.
That trust part is huge. Trusting others, but also trusting your own mind. That's terrifying.
It really is. That self-doubt is maybe the scariest part.
And it makes Danielle, I think, quite relatable despite the crazy stuff happening. She's scared, yeah, but she's determined to figure things out. You're kind of rooting for her.
Definitely. She's not passive.
Now, the writing itself, it's classic Stein, isn't it?
Yeah.
Simple, direct, and incredibly fast-paced.
Oh, absolutely. Quick read.
Yeah, the chapters are short, punchy, almost always ending on some kind of cliffhanger. Just pulls you right
It
through.
really does. You just have to know what happens next.
But does that skeed, maybe shortchange the character development a bit? It's all very plot-driven.
That's a fair point. You maybe don't get super deep character arcs,
Mhm.
but I'd argue the pacing itself is part of the horror, in a way.
How so?
Well, it mirrors Danielle's own confusion, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of being caught in something escalating way too fast, out of control. You're swept along with her.
Okay. That makes sense. The pace is the disorientation.
Exactly. And that relentless pace carries you straight towards the twist.
Ah, yes. The Stein twist. Can't have a Stein book without one.
And this one delivers. It's unexpected, genuinely chilling, and makes you rethink everything you just read. It snaps the whole theme into focus right at the end.
It really does stick the landing. So thinking about it overall,
Hmm.
we're landing on what, a solid 4 out of 5 stars?
Yeah, I think that's fair. The psychological suspense is really gripping. Great for fans of dream-based horror or just a quick, thrilling read.
Big bros there. And the cons, like we said, maybe a little light on deep character dives compared to other genres.
Right, and maybe some scenes feel a touch repetitive with the whole dream mirroring reality thing.
Yeah.
But those are pretty minor, I think.
Agreed. The overall experience, that feeling of mental unease, is what really stands out. It's quite effective. So what does this all mean for you, listening? Nightmare really is a masterclass in pulling you down a psychological rabbit hole.
Mhm.
It just brilliantly blurs those lines between what's real, what's dream, what's fear, keeps you guessing right up until that final page.
And it leaves you with a pretty potent question to chew on, doesn't it?
Go on.
Well, how do we really know? How do we separate our deepest fears, our weirdest dreams, from actual, tangible reality? Especially when our own mind is the battleground.
Ooh, that's a heavy one to end on. Definitely something to think about.